For 10 years, Real Features has brought you a review of what took place at the box office. But with this year being the ultimate curveball, this review is not going to be like the others. But this year also saw the re-release of classics, some of which were celebrating anniversaries and some were just added to fill the numbers based on the fact that they were solid money makers that would gift opportunities for fans to see their childhood faves back on the big screen for the first time in years.
Put a few more barrels at home. You know you don't have to buy the actual barrels.
For some reason I'm hearing... Yeah, I hate when commercials start playing in the background. Anyway, where were we? Hello everyone. I am MG Knight, the face and founder of Real Features. Accompanying me is the first Madam President of Awesome in Awesome, Lydia.
It's good to have you guys, and 2020 may have been a crap year, but we got through it somehow.
The cybernetic, energetic Cyber Raiden.
What's up, bitches? Ready to cause havoc and destroy and make 2020 a bitch, even though it's made half the world bitch our bitches.
Mm-hmm.
The Regal.
Anyway, aside from sorry if I'm making my intro longer, but still, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun, shall we?
The Regal, Sir Stephen.
Good evening, everyone.
And we're hopefully going to be joined by the suaveness of Kaiju Noir and the sweet badassery of Win the Rogue. Ladies and gentlemen,
Hooray.
For the 10th year in a row, we welcome you to the end of year panel. And we're going to be starting off with one of the very few movies that actually made it onto this list this year that was actually fresh at the box office. Sonic the Hedgehog. Big screen adaptations of video games have not had the best track record. Super Mario Bros., Blood Rain, and Resident Evil, to name but a few. So, when the announcement that Sonic was coming to the big screen, naturally there was skepticism. But this is where I was pleasantly surprised in seeing that Jeff Fowler, his crew, and the cast crafted a movie that not only brought the character to life in a way that would be plausible, but it also respected the character's legacy by having a similar personality of that of the game Persona, where he's all about attitude and quick pacing. But it also adds a layer that we've never really seen in any Sonic adaptation, and that being a touching and heartwarming story about friendship and family. Ben Schwartz adds his own spin on Sonic as someone who loves life and someone who longs for a family to call his own, with James Marsden adding as a great foil to him and also being that surrogate father that he needed, with Jim Carrey surprising everyone with his take on Sonic's arch nemesis in Dr. Ivo Robotnik in classic full-on 90s wacky Jim Carrey in all his energetic splendor. Great introduction, and I await the sequel on April 22, 2022. Anyone want to add anything to Sonic the Hedgehog?
I'll add a little bit. It goes to show that the people who make these movies actually care about their fans' opinion. Because if we remember from the early trailer what Sonic's original design was, and here's your and having the fact that the fan backlash was allowed the people to say, like, no, we're going to pull this from theaters for a little bit. We're going to tweak it. We're going to fix it. And we're going to get this right. I'm so glad that they actually got it right. Because imagine having to see that movie, as good as it was, with that poor design choice.
Yeah.
There would be a lot of scarred children. And possibly some adults, because good lord, that thing was terrifying.
It was.
No argument there.
But I'm just so glad that people who make these films are actually paying attention to the fan base, and it gives me hope for video game movies in the future. Fingers crossed for Mortal Kombat being good. Please be good. Please be good. Please be good.
All right. Raiden, I know you saw Sonic as well.
Yeah, this was a definite surprise. You know, like Liv said, video game movies has not done pretty well for years to come. Well, aside from Mortal Kombat all those years ago. Fuck that sequel, by the way. But yeah, what I really enjoyed about this movie is it painted Sonic as a character that, you know, yeah, he's still the same arrogant, brash, and cocky hedgehog we all know and love. It showed a hedgehog who just wanted a family. Like, he can do all these extraordinary things, but if you don't have anyone cheering and support you, it's basically what's the word? Not worth it. So with him with that Time Warp meeting the Donut Lord and his family, it gave him a chance to, you know, not just drop the arrogant persona, well, aside from the funny scenes in the movie itself, and just have him be the most genuine character you've never seen of the character itself. And yes, Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik, easily his best work yet. It's like, oh my god, it's just, not only you see Robotnik, you see a lot of characters Carrey has played over the years. From Ace Ventura, from the Riddler, to just, I don't know, it's just, oh, of course, The Mask. You see a lot of remnants of his characters from this performance. And I gotta say, the action was great, story was great, soundtrack was pretty damn good as well. And yeah, like you said, cannot wait to see what Sonic Hedgehog 2 brings out. Hopefully they don't go too crazy like a lot of sequels do. So yeah, if I was able to give it a rating, I give this a full price. Check it out if you have a chance.
That's fair.
Like, yeah, like video game. If you're a gamer or not, like, I feel like this is the type of movie that you can show your kids that, hey, this is what I grew up on, but this is something different. So there you go.
Sean Retros just said Jim has the ham, evil ham.
Delicious.
I don't care for Sonic Boom as a series, but I do like the way that Robotnik is portrayed in that show, because you can tell that Mike Pollock is having a ball doing that. Shut up, phone. You mentioned the Donut Lord. I love that one moment just towards the end where Robotnik just goes to I love where he's in his Egomatic and he just goes, "Who the hell do you think you are?" And he goes, "I'm the Donut Lord, you son of a bitch." But yeah, did you get the impression that the angst with Robotnik was more with James Marsden's character and less about Sonic? Because I noticed that, you know, he seemed to be more concerned about getting even with Tom and less about Sonic, which I thought, okay, that's kind of weird, but maybe when they go to the sequel, it'll shift the focus a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Steve, did you see Sonic?
I did.
Go on.
Loved the film. And for those of you who don't know you've got Sonic, a little cameo appearance by Gary Chalk,
Yep,
which I loved that.
that was a nice touch.
Which just goes to show that they do acknowledge the history of Sonic the Hedgehog, not just in the games, but in the other bits of media as well.
Yeah, I did like that.
It's just one of those films that, but it was from the history of gaming movies. There have been so many failures that kind of outshine the successes. But Sonic the Hedgehog has just proven that you can do decent video game movies, and it's one of the most human times that we've actually seen Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree with that in full. All right. Oh, okay. It is back.
Oh,
I'm sorry, man. Did you have something more to say?
I was just gonna say,
My bad.
because most of the time in the games we've seen Sonic as more or less having a carefree, snarky attitude. But seeing him just after years in isolation, just feeling lonely and wanting a family, it kind of reignites the character for me. Kind of like a breath of fresh air from some of the other stuff that has been going on within the Sonic media, but I digress.
Less said about Sonic Boom and some of the way he's been portrayed in the games recently, like Sonic and the Lost World. Ugh.
Yeah.
That was bad. Yeah, it's decent input. Up next on, this is where some of the classics got re-released this year, but this one with significant importance because this movie is celebrating its 35th anniversary. Dial up those time circuits because we're heading back to 1985 for Back to the Future. What is there to say that you don't already know about this iconic time-traveling 80s classic? The story is solid along with its amazing cast and effects that have held strong since July 3rd, 1985. Michael J. Fox is a treat to watch as the quirky and relatable Marty McFly, as someone who just wants to realize his dreams of getting to music stardom, and Christopher Lloyd's Doc Brown that just wants to make something that works. With a great supporting cast from everyone's favourite butthead in Tom Wilson's Biff Tannen, to Leah Thompson's Lorraine Baines, who was everyone's Density, and still is. Supported by an amazing score from Alan Silvestri that remains a standard bearer of how to make a movie feel bigger, Back to the Future has proven time and time again since 1985 why it stood the test of time and will more than likely do so for another 35 years and beyond. And where we're going, we don't need roads. Sean Retro, Robotnik, stop punching me in the face. No. I bring up Back to the Future again because, like I say, although I did this for the 30th anniversary when we did end of year panel in 2015, but it's one of those movies, it's still keeping people inspired and entertained even during these hard times. It's a movie that's gonna outlive us all because Christopher Lloyd is the perfect Doc Brown, Michael J. Fox is the best Marty McFly, and even to this day, Leah Thompson, how you doing? Because I don't know what it is that that woman is taking, but she's doing some time magic of her own because she's aged incredibly well. Although she has said rather modestly that she can't fit into her prom dress anymore from that, but she's, you know, handed it down to streaming. Okay, and we're back in. Right. Right, thank you folks for those who have stuck with us. Technical difficulties happened this evening for reasons unknown. OBS was just being really, really temperamental, so I apologize in full. It's probably a technical issue, and it's probably one of those situations where I may just take Kaiju up on his offer of going to StreamYard for future live streams, just so that we can avoid future situations like this. But it is what it is. Now, I'm just going to redo Back to the Future because, you know, for whatever reason, that's when we sort of had the technical issues. So I'll go in as before. And Sean, if you're listening still in the audience, we're back. Thank you for being patient. Okay. What is there to say that you don't already know about this iconic time-traveling 80s classic? The story is solid, along with its amazing cast and effects that have held strong since July 3, 1985. Michael J. Fox is a treat to watch as the quirky and relatable Marty McFly, as someone who just wants to realize his dreams of getting to music stardom, and Christopher Lloyd's Doc Brown that just wants to make something that works. With a great supporting cast from everyone's favourite butthead in Tom Wilson's Biff Tannen, to Leah Thompson's Lorraine Baines, who was everyone's density, and still is. Supported by an amazing score from Alan Silvestri that remains a standard bearer of how to make a movie feel bigger, Back to the Future has proven time and time again since 1985 why it stood the test of time, and will more than likely do so for another 35 years and beyond. And where we're going, we don't need roads. It has to be said, all these years later, Leah, how you doing? Because Lid, you and I can both agree on this. She looks amazing for her age at the moment. Lid, please don't tell me we've lost you again.
Oh no, I'm still here. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just when people go.
Well, what can we say about Back to the Future? It's just a classic movie, and it's what can be said has already been said, and can't really add much to it aside from the fact that it's one of my favorite movies. But
Same.
yeah, that's all I can add. I can't really add much of anything else because it's everyone's said what's been said, and it's just a good movie.
So, Stephen?
I cannot add anything that has not already been said. It's just a masterpiece.
Raiden?
Yeah, I mean, I'm aside from everyone here, I'm not the biggest Back to the Future fan, but you know, going back to this movie was pretty cool. And a lot of elements that are yet to be seen, and I'm still waiting for my damn hoverboard.
Same. I'm still waiting for myself drying jacket. Damn it!
Not that rolly thingy, whatever. But
no,
yeah,
no,
hoverboard.
fuck that.
Why?
What about the self-flying shoes?
Yeah, we got them.
Those exist, right? They exist, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Because Michael J. Fox actually showed them for the first time on national TV when he was a guest on, of all things, the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Not a huge fan of him. But I will say he at the very least treated him and Christopher Lloyd with the respect that they deserved when they came out on stage and, you know, just sort of reminiscing about the movie. And the fact that they had Huey Lewis performing both, you know, both classic numbers is just like perfect. And the fact that they got Huey to sort of reprise his role as the teacher's like, I'm sorry, but you're just too darn loud. I'm like, the utter irony, because this was a rock and roll guy in the 80s. Like, you're complaining to other people about being loud? Okay, buddy. Love your music, but damn. What else? What else came true? Widescreen TVs.
Yeah.
Video conferencing. Although, to be fair, the video conferencing was already predated by Star Wars, Thunderbirds, Stingray, Captain Scarlet, and Knight Rider did it in 1982 because Kit had a video chat system in a car. You know, whereas now you can do that via your phone and what have you. Although the things that we're glad that didn't come to pass, that was predicted in Back to the Future Part 2, flying cars.
Oh dear.
And also the two ties. I mean, what was up with that? I mean, anyone?
I
Yeah.
don't know that. I don't even know how to tie yet.
I remember when we were sort of referencing Back to the Future Part 2 during the beginning of one episode of RDR Next. I was like, where's my self-drying jacket, damn it? And my hydrated pizza? And he's like, hydrated, yeah! And he often wondered if Robert Zemeckis was, was a fortune teller. But, you know, I think it was just more.
I mean, it's said for a lot of media nowadays.
Yeah.
Are those videos where like The Simpsons predicted this, Futurama predicted this? I'm like, maybe it's just a wacky coincidence.
Although do you remember? And Sean says, "What about the other Jaws movies? Please don't."
Shark still looks fake.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
we had shark movies, but they weren't exactly Jaws.
No, we had Sharknado instead.
Ugh.
No.
What was I gonna say? Damn it, I lost my train of thought now. Other things that. Nah. I had a thought in there, and it's gone. So, Raiden, my bad if I did this. Did I kind of tread on your momentum there a little bit?
Half and half, but not too bad.
All right, sorry,
As
man.
you basically
You
said-
finish up.
No problem. Yeah, like I said, wasn't not really a big fan of Back to the Future, but I did like, you know, the half the predictions we got in later years, you know.
Yeah.
Even though I'm still, like I said before, I'm still waiting for my damn hoverboard, my real hoverboard. Seriously, it's like it's way overdue now. But knowing us, that's gonna backfire real quick. But yeah, man, like I said with Back to the Future, I like how it's predicted a lot of things that we have now, and I'm just so impressed with like the legacy and the story building it has become, and you know, also really happy that we had never got any remakes or whatnot. You know.
Oh hell no.
No.
Yeah, I think he said this before in all three of your reviews. Back to the Future as a franchise has stood the test of time. No matter how many times it has its anniversaries, like even though it's the same old, it brings a lot of new people in. Not to mention when the actual year came out, you know, Chris Lloyd dusted off, you know, the character and said like, hey,
Yep.
welcome to this year. The future is what you make it.
Yep.
And yeah, that stayed with me for so many years. So yeah, Back to the Future itself, it's a classic. Like, it has its flaws, but you can still enjoy it with a lot of people. So if I can give it like an old school rating, I would definitely give it a I'd probably give it a full price as well.
I would. It's just so well made because you just don't get writing, casting, and execution like that anymore. I mean, Nick Nugent describes Back to the Future as a self-contained time capsule in of itself, where it exists in a world of itself because of the fact that you just don't get movies like that anymore. And some would argue that trilogy is in a continuous loop because Marty's always going into the past, he's always coming back to the future, going back to 1955, coming back to 1985, get to 2015, back to 85, back to 55, to 1885, back to 1985, and like I say, it's just in a there's another word for loop, like Ouroboros. You know, that'll be a name relevant to Stephen because there was Ouroboros batteries that were used in season 7 of Red Dwarf, where it describes how David Lister is his own father and son because he sent himself back in time as a baby to make sure that the human race never came extinct. So yeah, it's kind of basically in the story, because he was abandoned as a child in a cardboard box in a pool table in a bar in Liverpool, he grows up never knowing his father, and then he finds out that he's not only his own father, but his girlfriend was also his own mother. It's one of those, don't try to think too much on it, otherwise your head will explode. But considering the character of Dave Lister, it kind of says more than it needs to. And Rimmer's still a smeghead. If they ever do make a Red Dwarf movie, please don't try to make it like the USA pilot, Raiden. You're better off not knowing.
Oh no!
No, please,
No,
no.
no.
It
What
was
What
bad.
what am I supposed to not know? I wasn't paying attention. What's going on?
Never ever look up the USA pilot of Red Dwarf. It was bad.
Okay, duly noted. Was it worse than Turbocharged Thunderbirds?
Flip a coin.
Okay, still having nightmares about that.
I still hurt from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my eyes hurt.
The only one that they had as a link to the UK, the original UK, was Robert Llewellyn as Crichton. But then again, Steve, even you and I can agree on this. He is the best Crichton.
Yes.
If they'd gotten somebody else, it would have been terrible. And what was it? They had Craig Bierko as Dave Lister, and it's just like, nah. I mean, I don't dislike Craig Bierko. I thought if he had been called something, a character that wasn't Lister, it'd have been fine. But nah, it just didn't work. And we move on to another classic that saw a re-release in the cinemas this year. And this one was me seeing it back on the big screen for the first time in 27 years. Jurassic Park.
Ooh.
Yes.
Like Back to the Future, this is also a classic that has stood the test of time as an adventure 65 million years in the making. Adapted from Michael Crichton's novel of the same name, director Steven Spielberg brought to the big screen what many regard as the most definitive dinosaur movie to date. This sci-fi thriller has solid pacing, character building, supported by grade A casting from Sam Neill's Alan Grant, the perfect Ellie Settler in the equally perfect Laura Dern, the charismatic Dr. Malcolm played by the suave Jeff Goldblum, and the most ideal John Hammond portrayed by the late Sir Richard Attenborough. The special and visual effects from Stan Winston Studios and ILM brought the dinosaurs to life in such a credible way as they moved and behaved like animals of today, from muscle movement, skin texture, and doing just that, portraying them as animals and not movie monsters. It raised the standards of how special and visual effects were done and inspired many fans and movie makers to follow them in the standards since then. Jurassic Park is timeless, and it always will be. So, Stephen.
I did it something different when I went to see this in cinemas. Instead of going for a regular screening, I decided to go and see it in the IMAX 4DX.
Damn.
Which is basically which includes immersive features such as moving seats, added lighting and water effects for some of the scenes. And that really, for me, when I was watching it, it really helped to enhance the scene. For example, when Rexy breaks out of her paddock, you can feel the Rex's as she stomps on the ground. And when Nedry is attacked by the Dilophosaurus, you get squirted in the face with water.
Oh
And
no!
It's just that it just adds that little bit more of immersion. And I can't help but notice that during some of the opening credits, they added a bit more of the island ambience.
Yeah. They also changed the Universal logo, if you notice as well.
Yeah. But again, another timeless classic. But just one word of caution if you go to see a movie in 4DX. Do not overeat before you go in there. Otherwise, you'll feel like you're riding on a roller coaster and you'll end up with a sick stomach afterwards.
Ugh. Noted.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my opinion.
Alright. Right on.
Honestly, going Back to the Future, I'm not a big fan of Jurassic Park, but I don't know what it is about that movie. It's just like, damn, it gets better every time I see it. Like the enigmatic performance of Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm, which I aspire to be one day. Well, half an hour.
I appreciate that, Raiden. Life will find a way for you.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's like, damn, it's definitely, God, damn, no matter how many times I see it, like the first showing of, was it Isla Nublar? Isla Nublar?
Yeah,
Am I getting that
Isla
right?
Nublar was
Yes.
was the showroom, whereas Isla Sorna was the factory floor.
Okay, Isla Sun. Yeah, just the showing of those two different worlds was just amazing. Oh my god, just the effects itself. It felt so real. And I really liked the logical explanation. Well, not logical. How they created the dinosaurs in the first place. That was pretty sick. And just seeing Rexy for the first time, it was so awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
Like, jeez, that's a memory. That's a memory I'll never forget. You know, so yeah, the whole movie itself, it was just a trip down memory lane. You know, it's what started the whole franchise itself. Even though half and half nowadays is not what it used to be, but you know, at least at that time period, it was something fresh, something new. So yeah, I still enjoyed it. If I get rating, once again, I give it a full price.
Madam President.
Well, to be fair, I am not as a hardcore fan of Jurassic Park as a lot of the people on this panel, but I do enjoy the movies. It's like I remember seeing it as a kid and being like completely terrified. I know they're not supposed to be made out as monsters, but animals are pretty freaking scary, especially if you encroach on their environment. They will do anything to defend it. In some cases, they're just out mean, especially the freaking Velociraptors. They work as a group. They are scary motherfuckers. which is fair, which is accurate to how they were back in those days. They were pack animals. And just like seeing a lot of these animals that I've never heard of, forget what was the name of the one that attacked Ned Leeds? I can't remember his name.
Dilophosaurus.
Dilophosaurus, there we go. That thing, I didn't know what it was until it spit in his face. I'm like, okay, that's one animal I never want to encounter in real life.
Well, the one you never want to encounter full stop was from The Lost World with the Compies.
Oh no!
Yeah.
No. I'm like, no, I'm okay.
They some evil little fuckers.
They look cute, but then you realize, oh wait, they're evil little assholes. Okay. But
Especially
yeah,
when they
I do love a lot of the practical effects. They're mostly practical effects mixed. Like there might have been some CG, but feels real, and you feel Rexy's like every stomp, and that was before freaking 4DX. It's like you feel her stomping now, chasing them down. You feel paralyzing fear of the raptors and stalking those two kids.
Yep.
Ooh, no, like yourself in that situation, it's like, yeah, what would I do? And those kids were way too smart to figure that out. Me, I would be paralyzed with fear. But that's the whole point. You're putting yourself in their shoes, and it's actually really good storytelling. It's like, again, it's all like Back to the Future. What can be said that's already hasn't been said? So it's a good movie. It's a great movie.
Although it has to be said to this day, please turn the damn lights off. It's just, Grant just goes, turn the light off, turn the light. And it's just like, it's been seen so many times, but if you've got a 20-foot high, 40-foot long bipedal carnivore that could eat you with little to no effort, do you really want to draw its attention? Okay.
Not really, no.
No.
Nope. And we move on to a movie that celebrated its 15th anniversary this year, Batman Begins. You know you have a mammoth task on your hands when you're setting out to reinvent the Batman movie franchise after the less than stellar offering that was 1997's Batman and Robin had left on the world. I know. Christopher Nolan set out with his star Christian Bale to showcase Batman in a realistic fashion, but still respecting where the character had come from. Taking inspiration from Batman Year One and The Man That Falls, sees Bruce Wayne on a journey from as a survivor after his parents' murder to becoming the Dark Knight. Aided by an amazing cast from the legendary Sir Michael Caine, Liam Neeson, Cillian Murphy, and Katie Holmes, Batman Begins was a breath of fresh air in 2005 and is arguably still as fresh today. Sir Stephen.
Never really saw Batman Begins when it came to theaters, but I did catch it when it was broadcast on TV. And have to say that Nolan really knew how to make Batman dark. Well, a more grittier take on Batman. Not really got much to say on it.
Fair enough. Lydia.
I mean, it's... I say what you will about certain parts of the Nolan films, especially Christian Bale's Batman voice. I'm sorry, he will not live that down.
No.
I'm not worried about it. Okay. Calm down. Round out your syllables, buddy. But I do love them in general. Like, the third one's not my favorite, and we're talking about The Dark Knight, right? Or we're talking about Batman Begins?
Begins.
I never saw Begins in theaters, but I did catch it much later in cable, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was actually one of my favorites. It's not one of my favorites, but it's like I do enjoy it a lot. It's a new representation of the Batman mythos. I mean, I love Batman '89. It's a classic. But it's a different retelling of that. It's a little darker, which works for him because a lot of the Batman comics went from camp to dark, and it kind of makes sense that this franchise went into that direction, evolving a little bit. So, to be fair, might be going a little too dark. Excuse me. Might be going a little too dark this time with the Matt Reeves Batman, when it comes out. But again, it's Begins was a good start for it, and I did enjoy the movie a lot.
Raiden.
Oh my god! Let me just tell you, like, aside from the flack that Nolan versus Batman movies have gotten, Batman Begins. Firstly, personally for me, it's my all-time favorite. Like, it tells a great story on how Bruce became to be as the Batman himself. Like, it gives new elements. Not to mention, I love the Tumbler. That bad boy is my personal favorite, because it's so different. It's a freaking tank. You know, it was just it did its job. Also, it brought out one of my personal favorite Batman villains in the Scarecrow. Cillian Murphy killed it. Sad part of it is he didn't get that much screen time, especially the ending. He was like, you know. But yeah, I saw this movie for what it was, and of course Liam Neeson murders it, as you know. And here's the twist: he's the real Ra's al Ghul, who is basically Batman's, in my personal opinion, his what's the word? Biggest nemesis to date, because he knows Bruce in and out. Like, he knows strengths, he knows his weaknesses, and anytime those two go at it, you're in for a treat. You know, it's been done in the comics, in the cartoons, and also in video games. So seeing that element was really cool as well. And the suit is the suit. I really dig the suit as all black, very tactical. You know, it's something that you've never seen before, and Chris Nolan definitely made that a staple, especially in future incarnations of Batman. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed this movie for what it is. It was a great start to the Nolan verse alone, you know. And what I really appreciate is his attention to detail with making Batman's rogue gallery very more realistic than cartoony like we've gotten, you know, over the years before this movie came to be. So yeah, I still enjoy it to this day. And once again, my rating, I'm still gonna give it like a very high full price. This is a movie that, you know, it tells a story and it laid the foundation of what the Nolan verse is gonna be.
Speaking of The Dark Knight.
Ooh.
How do you top Batman Begins? Simple. Escalation. You up the scales in a situation to where the mob is scared and bent cops are fearing the bat on the street, and to where good honest district attorneys like Aaron Eckhart's Harvey Dent is beginning to take back the city. This saw probably one of the most game-changing takes on the Joker, as Heath Ledger acts as a more volatile and psychotic version than we had seen with Jack Nicholson and the animated version with Mark Hamill. Heath's portrayal is less jokey and more anarchistic, as someone who just wants chaos, as he sees Batman as the big problem and wants to bring anarchy back to Gotham. Supported by Michael Caine's Alfred Pennyworth, Gary Oldman's Commissioner Gordon, and Maggie Gyllenhaal replacing Katie Holmes as Rachel Dawes, The Dark Knight has left an impact on the comic book world as one of the most definitive sequels and Batman movies to this day. Raiden, go to town.
Oh my god! Let me tell you about this fucking movie. You said it best. Escalation is what this movie is all about. Like, jeez. After so many years just seeing the Joker for, you know, comedic, psychotic, all that, Heath Ledger, may God rest his soul. He personally, for me, he gave before Joaquin Phoenix's, you know, performance of Joker of Joker, he gave, for me, one of the most realistic approaches Joker has, and he said it. Very anarchistic, want to cause chaos, just to prove a point, show that Batman isn't the only one who does what he does. I do what I do, but in a different way. So it was something to lo and behold. But I don't want to make this the whole Joker show, because Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent / Two-Face was just awe-inspiring as well. Like, I still can't believe, like, his scarred face was CGI, because that shit looked real.
No,
you know?
that's like real good CG.
Yeah, that's something like you don't expect. So I really like how, like, you know, despite what Bruce has done to protect the city, you still have detractors, and the more he did things, the more, you know, put into question. But he knows he has friends in high places that he doesn't really, like, exploit. Like, you know, especially in the whole ending, like, he's more now painted as a vigilante than he is. It was just very well done. So honestly, my rating for the whole thing is a slight better than Sex.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like you said, Dark Knight was a freaking game changer. So I enjoyed every bit of it.
Right. So Stephen.
I remember when I originally watched The Dark Knight, I was really taken aback for how dark it went. Mainly,
Yeah, it went to places.
part of that was mainly due to the Joker with how far he tested Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
And Heath Ledger, may he rest in peace.
Yep.
He really took the Joker and made the role his own.
Yep.
There's if there was a time where you wouldn't want to meet Joker down an alleyway,
Oh, good lord.
Heath Ledger's Joker would probably give the others a run for their money.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was so unpredictable, you just never knew what he was going to do next. One of the main highlights for me. And just a further evolution of Bale's Batman. Really does stick with me.
All right, Lids.
I mean, this, to be fair, I gush about this movie a lot. I love its portrayal of the Joker because, to be honest, no one's been able to really get into the tops of the portrayals of the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix is up there. Let's be honest, but that's a different sort of animal. That was basically an origin story. This is something completely different. Hell, for all we know, maybe Arthur Fleck inspired this version of the Joker.
Possibly.
Never know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's from hearing fan theories that Joker is this PTSD suffering soldier, which I guess I could buy with all of his strategy. A man who says, "I don't have plans." That is a load of bullshit. I planned every single thing that happened. Let's be freaking clear on that.
Yep.
But yeah, it's an awesome movie, and the fact that it had to compete with Iron Man, which was again another change in the superhero genre. That started a whole new universe and all that. But the Batman, the Dark Knight is really an amazing film, and it's a shame that we'll never see the Joker again. Well, this version of the Joker, because honestly, it can't be topped.
No.
Really can't.
Some have argued over the years, would Heath Ledger have gotten that Oscar for Best Supporting Actor if he hadn't passed away? I would like to argue he would have gotten it if he were still here, because that performance, that was something else. But people have to remember, he purposely locked himself in a hotel room for a month with only room service coming up to serve him, just so he could get into the mind of this character. And thing is, this character afterwards kept him awake at night to the point where he had to take sleeping pills in order to go to sleep. The problem was he took too many.
So that's a big story. I never knew. I thought it was just like a mental problem.
No. Again, this version of the Joker was just that much of a mental character study, to where, again, like I say, he couldn't sleep at night. And let's be fair, if there really were a person like Heath Ledger's Joker out there, that would be creepy. Especially that one shot of him where he's putting his head out of the police car window and he's just like enjoying the ride. It's just like, okay, buddy, I don't think you're meant to enjoy a police car ride that much. But again, you know, he's just a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do if I ever got one. And also, who was slightly uncomfortable with him in the nurse's outfit?
Oh,
I mean, look.
Hi.
I ain't judging. I'm not judging, but
Hey, you do you, man. If you want to wear a dress,
I just didn't need to see that.
No.
That's nightmare fuel.
just him in that outfit saying, "Do I look like a guy who has a plan?"
Clearly not. It's like, do I really look like a guy with a plan? It's like, didn't you plan most of your shit? As you say, that's just the thing that got people. It's like, you virtually planned out most of your shit in this movie. It's like, how can you not have plans? Steve, did you say anything about this one?
I did.
Okay. Okay. And I end my selection before we move on to the others' selection with the last in the trilogy, The Dark Knight Rises.
Ooh.
It's very rare when a third movie in the series still has the quality in the writing as the previous installments. Such movies like Back to the Future Part 3 is such an example where it's still favored. And then you get such thirds as Iron Man 3 and Spider-Man 3 where they're not as well remembered. With The Dark Knight Rises, Nolan raised the stakes once again. Whereas the first two were a hero's journey and a crime movie, this is a war movie where you have an idealist, for want of a better word, in Tom Hardy's Bane, which was such a radical departure from what comic book purists had known from the comics and the animated series of a former Hispanic wrestler turned mercenary for hire with bionic enhancements to being a muscular, philosophic wordsmith. It's often said that movie 3 relates more to the first movie as the League of Shadows were brought back in, with Marion Cotillard playing the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, Talia, looking to fulfill her father's vision. This final installment of the Dark Knight trilogy sees great performances from Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, and a very stellar performance from the ever-talented Joseph Gordon-Levitt, as the movie spent an almost equal portion following his character arc as much as Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne returning as Batman, of which the movie used elements of The Dark Knight Returns of a much older Bruce Wayne that was battered mentally and physically 8 years prior to what his war with the Joker had done to him. The Dark Knight Rises serves as a solid and definitive conclusion of a series that rewrote the rules of how to adapt a franchise to the big screen. Sir Stephen.
Sadly, I never got round to watching The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay. Lydia.
Yeah, well, again, The Dark Knight Rises isn't exactly my favorite because part of it seemed a little convoluted, especially with the whole thing that Bane wasn't the criminal mastermind, that it turns out it was Talia al Ghul. I mean, albeit it was a decent plan, but just it seemed like you went a little, rolled it around way too much. I get it that there needed to be some kind of like big plot twist, but okay, all right. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't written too badly. I did like some of the elements. I did like this broken version of Bruce Wayne where he's like, being a vigilante can take a toll on your body, and he proved that. And there were other elements that I enjoyed. I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Detective Blake or Officer Blake. I don't remember what his character, what rank he was, but it's just. But I did enjoy his character, and at the end that he's supposed to be the guy that takes over for Bruce Wayne, and I'm like, as Batman, and I'm like, okay, I see that, but did his middle name have to be Robin?
I know.
Really? That's, like you guys were reaching. Come on.
And Christian Bale had often said if Robin was going to show up in the series, that's where he would tap out. It's just like, nope.
That's fair. But again, it wasn't a terrible movie. It was a decent finale. I'll give it that. And it came out the same year as the Avengers did. And funny how it's like Christopher Nolan tapped out when he did. It's like, yeah, superhero movies are gonna go way too bombastic. I'm out. Have a good day.
Yeah.
It's fine for what it is. Everybody did a good job, and it's a decent movie. Not as good as, well, for me personally, not as good as The Dark Knight, but
no,
yeah, nothing can top the.
All right.
But yeah, that's all I have to say.
Raiden.
I can't lie to you. For years, I thought I would hate, Tom Hardy's take on Bane, but I don't know. From highlights, like I said for my announcement for Batman Begins, I like how Nolan makes Batman's Rogues Gallery gives a little bit more, realism. So with Bane, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I just really like the aesthetic. The aesthetic he gave. The voice, I instantly like. But like what Liz said, I just didn't like how, I thought this was gonna be his master plan, but no, it was Talia. Like, that was a cool twist, but you basically undercut all the things Bane has done the whole movie.
Yeah, that's a fair comment, actually.
Yeah, you basically made Bane a lapdog.
Yeah, it reminds me of that movie that we never talk about.
Boom.
Yeah. But I really like the attention to detail, Nolan gave Bane, like, especially recreating the moment that really, really defined Batman for redemption. I mean, a lot of people know that Bane's the first ever villain that physically broke the bat.
Yep.
So, yeah, seeing that in real time was pretty cool. I kind of wish it had more. I kind of wish it was more visceral, because if you ever see the comics, Bane literally broke the dude in half. So yeah. Also, some other characters, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character was pretty, very dedicated,
Yep.
very believing in Batman's beliefs. So I definitely respected that. Anne Hathaway as Catwoman, I was really impressed. I like they gave her, a very high tech-ish look. He was basically of course, grateful to Batman, just like in the comics and TV. So that was just really good. Honestly, just for me, the whole movie it just felt discombobulated, but there are some parts I did like. excuse me. If I can give it a rating, I would give it a low-ish matinee. I mean, it was still decent for what it was, but like Liz said, you know, Nolan knew his time was done doing stuff like doing movies like this, especially now the Avengers came out the same year. We were entering like a new era when it came to superhero movies. So with this last attempt, I feel like he did his best, but the way this thing went, it felt too discombobulated, especially in like in the final part.
It's interesting you bring up Anne Hathaway with being Catwoman. Originally, it was rumored they wanted Angelina Jolie as Catwoman.
Ew!
Okay, I mean, no respect to Anne Hathaway. I feel like Angelina Jolie would body that role.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean,
also,
off topic. Say what you will about this franchise, but I felt like she did pretty well as Lara Croft.
And also, knowing, you know, the sort of roles that Angelina has done before, I don't want to say she would have made Catwoman too sexual, but she definitely would have added that element that we've seen in the comics and the animated series where, you know, let's be real. Selina Kyle is probably the most ideal pairing with Bruce Wayne because there is an attraction there. The only thing that stops him from trying to have a life with her is the fact that what she does for a living clashes with his moral compass.
Also, to be honest, I wouldn't consider her a villain. I mean, yeah, she's doing the villainous things like, you know, jewel thief, but she's on the outside. She's a pleasant person. Like, if you ever watches, like, I mean, I know a lot of people watch Batman animated series, but Adrienne Barbeau gave Catwoman, you know, a sense of purpose.
Layers.
You know, a lot of layers. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, despite what she does, she has a caring heart, especially with her cat Isis.
Yes. I did like her version. It's there's a lot of femininity to her, but she's also one of those push me the wrong way and you will get scratched. Especially where there's this one that's like, never trifle with the affections of a woman ever again. It's just like, yeah, I'm not going to cross your path. Not like that. And I did like, you know, that episode right at the end, because she says the title of, she's the last one to say the title of the episode, almost got him. And say what people will about the Batman, I did like Gina Gershon's take on her, where she's just a little bit more tongue-in-cheek. But Gina, as an actress, has been known to do stuff like that, lest we forget Showgirls.
Oof.
It was one of those movies, don't try to overthink it, just enjoy, for want of a better word, because, let's call it for what it is, there's no story to it. there really isn't. And apparently that was Elizabeth Berkley's attempt at trying to shake off her wholesome teenage image from Saved by the Bell by doing that movie. That movie was garbage.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. But no, like it's like we said the original point. Angelina would have owned that role, and let's put it this way. You know the cover art that they had for the second Tomb Raider movie, where she's wearing that metallic covered swimsuit? Basically put a Catwoman mask on over that, and you've got, like the ideal Catwoman outfit. And it's like I said, there would have been something about her as Selena Kyle, because we know she can do the toughness, because as we mentioned, she did Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, and she did Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So we know that she's got the endurance to do that, but no pun intended, she knows how to be catty, because she's done these sort of roles before where, she just loses herself in the role. I mean, Gone in 60 Seconds, that's another role where you don't see Angelina Jolie in the role, you see Sway, who for some reason looks like Trish Stratus in the movie. Not that I'm complaining. But yeah, it would have been... I don't think it would have made it any better, or the movie any better or worse, but it would have been make people go, perfect. Again, not taking anything away that Anne Hathaway did. I mean, I rate Anne Hathaway as an actress, but she wouldn't have been my first choice, considering most people still remembered her for The Princess Diaries. And whilst we're on the subject of Anne Hathaway, do you feel like she was trying way too hard when she went on to do these more adult roles where she's, like looking for movies that have got love scenes or just gratuitous sex scenes? Do you feel like she was just trying too hard to be like, hey, I'm a serious actress? It's like, no. Just go out and put out a good performance. You don't have to. Prime example of someone trying too hard to shake off the wholesome image and going to I'm an adult, Miley Cyrus.
Oh, good lord. Let's.
Here's where I'm gonna be fair. The girl can sing. I'm not gonna take that away from her. But Wrecking Ball. Now.
Or we can't stop.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
She can sing, and she's cute. Not gonna take anything away from that, but honey, stop trying to be edgy. Do you know how most people get across being edgy? When they're not trying to be edgy, when they're just being themselves. I mean...
Or, wait, I got another one. Can't be tamed.
Yeah. And also, I forget what awards ceremony she was at, but she was coming out and says, oh, I'm smoking some weed. It's just like... Really?
Oh, God. Honey, you're trying to...
Oh, ward shot. EMA 2013. Oh my god. Damn. I remember me and my friends saw that shit. I'm like, what the fuck we just watched?
And the less we say about her duet with Robbie Thicke, the better.
I was trying to avoid that, man. Oh, God.
Nope.
That's when the whole world learned about the word twerking.
My whole life without
God.
learning about that word.
Why?
Oh,
Why?
God, she was trying way too hard, fam. Oh, listen, I'm not saying she's trying not to be black, but man, oh damn. Okay, you said twerk, but she does. I'm just gonna be fair, ladies and gentlemen. This is from black perspective. Twerking and her do not mix.
No, they do
Okay.
not.
Listen. If you really want to know, just see twerking, the real shit, and you'll thank me later. Rate and stamp of approval. Rate and stamp of approval. You'll be begging me to say, Raiden, what's the real definition of twerking?
Oh, I don't want to know this.
Lydia, do you
want to
keep me twerk?
Led.
Ah!
The real you'll know the real reason, and let's just say you will die happy.
Okay.
Oh God, no. I probably won't.
Don't worry. You'll thank me later. I'll tell you.
Well, I think
Off air.
that was bad enough. Apparently, on one episode of SmackDown during late 2013, during a WWE dance-off contest, where Miz referred to himself as Mizco Inferno, he actually twerked to actually win that contest. And it actually gave poor Oni flashbacks of WCW, where there was a character called Disco Inferno.
Really?
God damn it. Yeah, 2013 WWE. I do not go back to. I don't know.
Because it wasn't best for
No.
business.
Oh God, yeah, that too.
Yeah, Triple H, the beginning of his long-winded 50-minute promos.
Ah!
I'll never forget that stupid ass go home show for TLC 2013. Like,
Oh God.
man, the crowd was not having it, man. I'm just
No,
saying,
they were
like,
not.
Bro, oh, you can see CM Punk was just devoid of caring. I'm like,
Daniel
still
Bryan. Daniel Bryan.
and it's just, oh God, the whole main event itself, like, just the condescending nature of Davey. Was like, let's make history, fellas. Like, motherfucker, it's John Cena versus Randy Orton for the umpteenth time. Shut the fuck up.
See, what people really wanted to see was Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk for the two belts being fused together. That would have made buy rates go through the roof. No, I'm Vince McMahon. You want to see Cena and Orton? No, we don't. Heck, if they could guarantee it, I would have paid on pay-per-view if they could guarantee Rock versus Stone Cold for two titles being merged, not Cena and Orton.
I mean, listen, I get it. It's nostalgia pandering, but those two right there were the faces of a generation that wrestling was beloved. So seeing Cena and Orton, especially with current Cena incarnation, nah, I'm good. I was good on that one.
Yeah. Moving on to another selection. Lids, I believe you wanted to talk about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
I want to announce this as well after she's done.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I mean, okay, I'm not gonna have like a big giant speech because this was actually the first time I ever saw this movie. I was gonna wait for Oni and I to watch it together, but you know what? I got bored one night. He's a little cross at me for watching it before him, but I regret nothing. Because that movie was really, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed Miles' journey to becoming Spider-Man. It was a really good film. I love all the elements that it included. And I love this movie. I love the animation style. I love all the characters. I love the Spider Crew. I even love the little twist that this movie has because they're saying this is another universe where some characters might not be the same gender, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But again, this is actually a really good film, and I love it. Also, Spider-Gwen is my girl. Spider-Gwen is my girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that character gets rained on. I like Gwen Stacy as
I know, right?
Spider-Gwen.
Right?
Yeah.
Not to,
Yeah.
not to mention she was voiced by the beautiful Haley Steinfeld.
Yes.
Yeah.
Haley.
I just, all in all, I really, really love this film, and I'm really looking forward to when the sequel comes out because it's going to include a lot more Spider people, and really fingers crossed that they bring back Oscar Isaac as Spider-Man 2099. Do it, please do it. I want it. Please, just give it to me now.
Of course, what was it? The Spider-Man in Miles Morales' reality, the Peter Parker there is voiced by Chris Pine, who you know better as Captain James T. Kirk.
Oh,
Yep.
that's neat.
I like the fact that he had his own Christmas album. I'm like, wait, Spider-Man had a Christmas album? This is news to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
When you sad and happy all at the same time.
when you get to the credits and you listen to that song, you will die laughing.
It pays off in dividends. Also, I wanted to give Peter B just all the kinds of hugs. Oh,
Yeah, because he went through a lot.
I needed a hug.
Okay then.
That's all I had to say about that. I loved it.
So Stephen, do you have anything to say about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
Oh, loved it.
Okay.
There were two moments that, for me, really stuck out. First off was Stan Lee's appearance in it.
Yeah.
Miss you, Stan.
And because he runs in the movie, he runs a store, and it's just a conversation he has with Miles about them reminiscing about Spider-Man, and one line just made me want to tear up. It was when he said, I really am gonna miss him.
Aww.
And then part of me, and when I was in the theater watching it, it was just like, oh, I'm gonna miss you, Stan.
Yeah.
And the line where he says, it always fits eventually. It's like, oh, damn it, Stan, no!
And then second was when after the Prowler ends up getting killed and Miles just ends up getting back to his place, and the others just try to comfort him, having similar experiences where they've lost loved ones. It's funny when the joking character of Spider-Ham just comes up with the most poignant line where he goes, Miles, the hardest part about this job is you can't always save everybody.
Hmm.
What a powerful moment.
Yeah.
Those were the
Raiden-
two moments.
Oh, sorry.
For me. That's fine. I was just gonna say those were the two moments that stuck out for me. Overall, a great Spider-Man movie.
Awesome. Raiden, go to town.
I love this fucking. I really love this fucking movie. Oh my god! I don't know how many times I can watch that and just like it brought a lot of great elements, like the messages, everything. Oh my god! Just everyone who did their voices did great. Like Shamik Moore as Miles Morales brought the realism. You know, in a sense, he was kind of us. It's like, you know, it's always going to be hard to, you know, fit in a way. You know, and I really like how family tries to comfort him to go through a lot of things. And yeah, it's damn. The movie itself, I love. Soundtrack, oh my god, I have so many songs from that soundtrack. Like I think the main one, What's Up Danger. Oh man, that was.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And like, and the whole message was like, he was like, how do I know I'm Spider-Man? And he's like, you won't. That's all it is, Miles. Take a leap of faith. You know, and I enjoyed every bit of that movie itself, like the fight scenes, the animation, just Miles coming into his own as the Spider-Man of this universe. Like, you know, I loved every bit of this movie from top to bottom. And you know what performance that I really enjoyed the most?
Mm-hmm.
Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir.
Yes!
Oh yes.
Oh my god, he was awesome.
And what I also liked about the movie, everyone Spider-Man said, "I love you." You know, I respect everyone. I love that. You know, everyone like respects each other. You know. Also, like, there were some funny moments in this part, like when Spider-Ham left. That he said, "That's all, folks," and then Peter was like, "Wait, he's allowed to say that, like, legally?"
Oh god.
Yeah.
One thing where Miles is trying to get out of getting in trouble, he's all like, "Play dumb. Who's Morales? Not that dumb."
Also, ever heard of the Soldier Touch? Hey.
Oh, that hits me so hard.
Of course, wasn't it? Of course, wasn't it in the movie?
Go ahead.
Miles was purposely playing dumb at the school that he was at because he didn't want to be there, and his teachers called him out on it.
Oh god, yeah, especially when he spelled dissimulary. I'm like, oh, you know you're playing dumb.
But yeah, I can't say enough on how much I love this. My rating, better than sex.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love that movie that damn much. Heavily anticipated what the sequel's gonna bring. No matter what, how many I watch, I always.
Damn.
Mm.
Has anyone got any movies that they saw in the theater this year, or movies that were re-released just to fill the void?
Honestly, thanks pandemic, I spent a lot of time watching movies from home, and oh damn, there was a video of Double Toasted where Corey Coleman went off on, like, you know, people who are sad that you can't go to theaters. Like, bruh, you have all this streaming service on here, and Warner Brothers is putting all their movies on HBO Max for the next year. Mortal Kombat, Godzilla vs. Kong, like Tom and Jerry. But yeah, I don't know why people are so fucking mad about this. Like, I want the theater experience. What theater experience? Like, you want someone's baby crying like crazy? Like, you know.
You want to hear somebody's cell phone go off? I mean, that happens at home, but you can put it on vibrate.
Exactly. Go ahead.
It's a good thing you brought that up because I saw that bit of news, but it had me wondering one thing. Because at the moment, HBO Max, is only available in the US. What about the rest of the world?
Good point.
Because the US only amounts to a certain percentage of the world's viewing audience. If Warner Brothers wants to get an international reach, I'm wondering if they're going to plan to do something similar for the rest of the world, because some of those movies, other people in other countries want to see them too.
That's true. But yeah. One movie I did watch this year was the Netflix exclusive film Extraction.
Oh, yeah.
That featured Thor's Chris Hemsworth, and yeah, let me tell you, it's very, very pulse pounding action. Like,
Oh yeah.
the whole story itself was a little the whole story itself was a little bit cheesy, but you know, honestly, I think that sometimes you don't need that much. You don't need that much, you know, story for an action movie.
Yeah.
And cool thing, the movie itself was done by the Russo Bros.
Oh.
You know,
Ooh.
same guys that did the Captain America franchise. Well, they produced it, but the real person who directed was Sam Hargrave, who was the stunt coordinator for several films in the MCU. Also, he's been the second unit director for the second season of The Mandalorian. So you know what you're gonna get when a film like. And I gotta say, the action is just, oh my god! Check it if you anyone has Netflix. Check it out for yourself. It's very, very visceral when it comes to action. Yeah, if it was up to me, I give it a matinee. I enjoyed every bit of it. It had some flaws, but luckily, you know, I think with the future of streaming, when it comes to movies, is like, it's there. Like, pandemic or not, I think it's gonna be there for years to come. Check that out, Extraction.
And if we're talking about streaming service movies, it's Oni and I did watch a movie called Girl on the Third Floor. It's a horror movie.
Is that the one with CM
Punk?
Punk?
Yeah, with CM Punk, yes. We riffed on that movie so bad. I mean, I liked it, but Oni just went to town on it, especially bringing up his UFC career. Just kept bringing that up. I'm like, okay, we get it, honey. Please move on. Again, it was a decent movie. The ending was a little something to be desired, but if you want to check out a horror film that's like a little odd, but if you want to see CM Punk get murdered viciously, this movie might be your cup of tea. Just saying.
And then of course we got some of the movies that are going to be out for next year, provided things can get back to some level of normalcy, like it was before the lockdown. like the movies that were gonna come out for this year, Fast 9 is one of them. I'm intrigued to see how this one will pan out, because this is supposed to be building up towards the end of the Fast franchise, and considering the first Fast and Furious movie came out in 2001, next year is the 20th anniversary of said first movie, and we know there's going to be a Fast 10 Part 1 and then a Fast 10 Part 2. So my thinking is either they're already working on the 10th and 11th movie, and they're probably going to film those at the same time and have them, say, released within a year of each other. We've also got Ghostbusters Afterlife, aka the real Ghostbusters 3.
Yay.
Top Gun Maverick. Finally. What else was supposed to have been released for this year?
Black Widow.
Yeah. Although I've heard that might be going to streaming. I'm not 100% sure on that. Also, whilst it's nice that Scarlett Johansson's finally getting a Black Widow movie, shouldn't this have happened 10 years ago, just after Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
That would have made more sense.
I mean, it feels like it's too late.
Well, because we already know
Little
the
too
fate
late,
of
but-
Black Widow.
We shall see. Yeah.
Because this is supposed to happen between Civil War and Infinity War, isn't it?
Yeah.
It takes place between that time frame. Yeah.
Seems like a bit of an afterthought.
Yeah. Unless, Marvel find a way to make multiple Black Widow sequels that keeps building up between Civil War and Infinity War.
Don't give them ideas.
Well, and we know that with the Doctor Strange sequel, the going into the multiverse, there's supposed to be multiverse versions of Spider-Man and Iron Man, and apparently, I only hear this on the wire, they're apparently going to be getting Garfield and Maguire to reprise their roles as their respective Spider-Man, and apparently, I only have this on rumor, they're going to be having Tom Cruise as the alternate version of Iron Man. I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, Cruise is a good actor.
Slightly interested.
Hmm?
Slightly interested.
I'm more intrigued than interested.
And then, of course, provided things, like I say, get back to some level of normality, in April next year, we'll see Daniel Craig's final performance as James Bond, and apparently
Thanks, sweet merciful God, actually.
this
Yeah.
is where it gets weird. Apparently, Natasha Lynch is carrying on as 007 after Daniel Craig walks away. So the James Bond franchise is going to be continued by Natasha Lynch. I'm like, back up a second. How can it be James Bond then, if there's no Bond there?
How does that even work?
Exactly.
No.
Here's the thing. If it was carrying on a spin-off series where Natasha is being her own 00, then okay, wouldn't have a problem. But it'd be like having a Fist of the North Star series where Kenshiro's been killed off, and in his place is Dan Hibiki. Now
Do not do.
Now you know that'll piss Raiden off.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Or another example, that'd be like continuing the Buffy the Vampire Slayer franchise, but you bring in a new Slayer, and she's played by Fran Drescher.
Ah, no!
I've just thought of one.
Oh no!
I mean, imagine like this: the vampire's got a choice, either being staked or Fran going.
Steak, please.
I'll take the steak. Eat him well.
You imagine like Spike here, and that's just like stakes himself.
Like, yeah, nope.
Trekkie goes, no, she's not James Bond. She's 007. The Bondians are already asking, how's that supposed to work? So it's easy. She's 007, not James Bond. Oh, and Trekkie goes, oh, Mr. Steakfield.
Ow! Ow!
I'm presuming that's meant to mean something.
That's Mr. Sheffield from The Nanny.
Uh,
No, don't do that to me.
There is. Oh.
Go on.
There is one movie as well, which is due to release next year, that I know a bunch of people, myself and possibly Kaiju Noir included in that, are looking forward to. Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yes.
That will be interesting, because, well, this is like the first attempt at a Kong versus Zilla movie since the 60s.
From what I've heard on the wire,
Except it won't be that goofy.
True.
there's actually been a 3-second clip teasing the movie that has been shared out on Twitter today.
Nice. I don't know too many movies that are supposed to be many more movies that are coming out for next year. I mean, we know Jurassic World Dominion is being delayed by an entire year because of the pandemic, because originally it was supposed to come out on June 11, 2021, marking 29 years to the exact day since the original Jurassic Park came out, but because there's an unbelievable backlog of which, you know, people are slowly still catching up with, there's just like, let's just delay it till 2022. And I have to correct myself, it would have been 28 years to the exact day, but it's now going to come out on June 10, 2022, so it's just a day short of being 29 years to the exact day since the original Jurassic Park came out. And they've managed to finish production whilst the pandemic's been going on. Trekkie just says NCIS the movie. If you could get the cast for that, especially that forensic scientist. I love how quirky she is. One of my college buddies from back in the day got me somewhat interested in that. I mean, I noticed that most of the characters in that movie, they're just all dicks to each other. Especially the guy who likes his massage chair. and they're always ganging up on Proby. I don't like that. But back on topic. And of course, the other one that joins the list for 2022, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It'd be interesting to see what they do with that sequel, because movie 2 is where they can make or break it. I mean, as we discussed earlier, the first movie killed it. Got it right the first time after the character change, the character design change. And as Liz said, you know, that was the only thing they changed about the movie, because the dialogue is fine, the writing and the pacing is fine. But if it had kept the original character design, it would have been so awkward to keep, you know, to keep the focus in that movie. I mean, imagine, for the sake of discussion, you do a deep fake on, let's say, Terminator 3. But instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger, you're seeing Jim Cornette as the Terminator.
Oh my god. I think that's Oni's worst nightmare, bruh.
No!
No, that Oni's worst nightmare would be waking up one morning and finding out he has a Thanksgiving dinner to prepare for, where his guests are Hulk Hogan, Jim Cornette, and The Miz.
Oh!
Yeah.
Whereas
Connie, you take care of this? No, I'm not.
Whereas Raiden's probably one of Raiden's worst nightmares is waking up realizing he's on an airplane flight with Lil Wayne.
No,
Oh!
fuck that shit.
Be like, hey, bro, do you want to hear my new album? He goes, no thanks, your last one wasn't that great either. Oh dear. One of my acquaintances says, oh, I get really inspired and lost in the meaning of the words on his album. I'm like, what meaning? I listened to about 10 seconds of one of his songs once, and I'm like, well, those are 10 seconds I'm never gonna get back. Sorry, man. Why he has a career, I don't know. There's another couple of, and of course we get the Batman coming out for next year. I'm gonna be intrigued to see what Robert Pattinson does, because to my understanding, this one is just like dedicated just purely to being Batman and not so much Bruce Wayne business dealings. Trekkie's just said, my nightmare would be being on a plane with William Shatner, who is constantly looking at the wing of the airplane.
Oh God, no! If that were the case, trust this man. Get the stop the plane.
Of course, didn't he have like a cameo in Airplane 2, the movie?
I think he did, but I don't remember.
Apparently, before they decided that they were going to do a movie reboot again of Star Trek, apparently they were still looking to get him to reprise his role as Kirk Prime. That would have been interesting, because they had Leonard Nimoy for 2 movies, so would have been interesting to see him come back as Kirk. And also in Star Trek Beyond, I did like when Spock was going through Spock Prime's personal effects, one of the things that was a nice tie-in to the original universe was a photo of the original crew of the Enterprise. I did like that. Just a very respectful way of, bringing the whole thing full circle. I don't know. I think we've pretty much done what we needed to do this evening. I mean, this wasn't the most scripted version, but we didn't have too much of what we would have done as, say, opposed into the last 3 years since I decided to take this thing onto live streaming rather than doing it the old school way as we used to do back in the day, where we'd record over Skype and then record via Pretty May MP3. Whilst that's nice, it's just a lot of editing to do, and then do necessary cutout pieces, which was one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to move away from the way I used to do RDR, because, and Ledge, I say this with the deepest respect for Oni, but the editing portion of doing RDR back in the day was one of the things I got really tired of doing, because there was so much editing to do. Whereas with the live stream, sure, sometimes mishaps happen, but all I would need, for the the RDR live panels is just my notes, and if I had to cut something out of it later, I would just go into the editor after 24 hours after it's happened, just cut a piece out, and it's good to go. Trekkie says, yeah, but from what I heard about the authors of Star Trek 2009, for them it would have just felt as if fanboys bringing their hero in the movie because they could. It's a fair point. Like I say, this isn't the usual panel we would normally give you, but like I said right at the start, COVID threw a curveball this year, and it, affected not just the movie industry, but everything else in between. And all we're doing, this evening is, yeah, we gave you a couple of movies that were out in theaters this year, but they also allowed us to go back and revisit some classics. Some were celebrating their anniversaries, and some that we got to see for the first time this year. I will say on record as a small review, Superman, Man of Tomorrow, well worth a look. Very different take on.
Definitely check that out.
Yeah, it's real decent. It's where they try to humanize characters a little bit more, give them a little bit more depth, and make them more relatable. That's what they try to do with Clark in this one. Make him a little bit younger, make him a lot more inexperienced, and I kind of liked the idea of making John Jones more like a Nick Fury in this version, where he's being like a guide and a mentor to Clark rather than just another teammate. And apparently there's going to be 2 more Origin movies. Next is supposedly of Wonder Woman, and apparently there's another Origin movie for Batman. And I'm like, oh, for crying out loud, not another Batman origin story.
Creators, we get it. He's your bread and butter, but we already know his damn origin story. Can we please move on?
And
Mhm.
since you mentioned Joker earlier,
Mhm.
as much as I enjoyed that movie, when it was getting towards the end, and even when Random saw this, when he sees the Waynes going into the alleyway and the Joker falls goes, oh, not the fucking origin story again.
Yeah, that shit.
That bugged me a little bit. Like, what?
That was a bad taste. I'm like, really? You're just gonna shoehorn that shit in? Like, come on. The rest of the movie was good, but that was the ender for me.
Like, that was necessary. Why?
Also, did any
In
of
Joker's terms, lids, you get what you fucking deserve.
That's true.
Also, when Arthur went to visit the Wayne estate, did any of you feel very, very, very uncomfortable when he put his thumbs in Bruce's mouth?
Oh, dude! It's like that's dangerous.
I tried to
Stranger
get that image
danger.
I tried to get that image out of my head.
And this may be relevant to Stephen. The guy who played Alfred, the adult version of Damien Trotter from the '96 Only Fools and Horses trilogy.
Oh,
Yeah, that was from Rodney's Dream. In the very first episode, Heroes and Villains, he has this vision of Del Boy and his son Damien, you know, ruling the world, owning corporations and conglomerates, and the one who played Del Boy's son in that episode was the one playing Alfred in the movie. And I noticed ever since they got actors like Michael Caine to play Alfred, the character has definitely become a lot more assertive with actors that have succeeded Michael Caine in the role. Because if you look at portrayals like Efren Zimbalist Jr. and the late Michael Gough, which is one of my personal favorites as Alfred, because he's very gentlemanly, but he will air his criticism with a lot of class and a lot of sass, but done in good taste. Whereas if you look at like the portrayals of From the Batman or Beware the Batman, which I could see what that series was trying to do, but it was trying way too hard. And then you see,
I appreciate the effort of that show. Not gonna lie. I mean, I like the.
Uh-oh.
apparently we lost Reagan.
Oh no.
We have been having technical difficulties this evening, folks, so, you know,
We apologize.
yeah. Whilst we wait for Raiden to come back in, and then you see, you know, performances from Alfred like Jeremy Irons, which, you know, turn down the sass, my friend. It's like, oh, hang on, Raiden's back.
Okay, where did I leave off?
You respected what they tried to do with with Beware the Batman.
Yes.
Oh yes. Like I said before, I appreciate what they did. I appreciate what they did with the show itself. Like, I liked how they made Alfred less, you know, older, more a little strapping-ish. I think it's in his 40s. Yeah, him being a former spy and all that. even though I found Bruce Wayne Batman be a little bit more douchebaggery.
I noticed this
Not
too.
gonna lie.
And what was
Yeah.
up with those
Even-
lips?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. I mean, like I said, the show itself was pretty good. Even though half of the CGI show, which is it felt pretty way cartoony for me, especially what they did with Anarchy.
Yeah. And also, it's interesting that Katana was brought in and not Robin or. I think were they gonna bring Batgirl in or?
Well, they did have Barbara Gordon under the Oracle moniker. I think it was in the finale of the season.
Yeah, the ending. That's when the Outsiders were formed.
Mm-hmm. And one thing about Katana, voiced by Somali Montano, otherwise known as RC from Transformers Prime.
Oh,
Ooh.
I did not know that. And you know, you then see performances by other actors sort of following on from what Michael Caine had done as Alfred. I mean, whilst you're out, we mentioned the sass of Jeremy Irons, where he goes, perhaps you should go mingle. Perhaps you'll meet a one to make an honest man out of you in your dreams, Alfred. And I'm like, whoa! It's like, happens to us all, Master Wayne. Even you got too old to die young. Not for a lack of trying. And I think I remember like Double Toasted like doing like their own riffs. I think, they had this one look of Ben Affleck looking and was like, bitch, what'd you say? Nah. Dan's just asking. Oh, Trekkie's saying he's gotta go. Take it easy, man.
Peace out.
Take care, Trekkie.
Dan says, don't know if you guys covered this yet. What are your thoughts on Sting in AEW? It's a good tactical move.
Oh my god. I've been a fan of Sting for years, and just, wow. I marked out like I was a kid again watching WCW, so that I can't wait to see what. I know I'm stammering because I'm just still in awe what happened with it. Like, I can't wait to see what he does. I hope he doesn't wrestle. Like, I really hope he doesn't. But I'll give him this: he looks a lot better in his 60s. I mean,
because he's not taking
no matter-
bumps.
Yeah, I think in a sense he'll be for more of a mentor role,
Yeah.
especially to Darby Allin.
Oh yeah.
But I enjoyed it. It was a great tactical move, and from what I heard in the end, they're gonna have a partnership with Impact Wrestling. I'm like, when does that happen? What the shit? So I'm like,
Oh, Oni will not let me hear the end of that. I'm like, I didn't like that Moxley lost, but okay, I see his points, but just, I don't know.
it was at a point. Mox had to lose. The way he lost
I know. It's just
the way he
it have to be the King Omega. I get the guy's a very skilled performer, but I would have preferred, to be honest, if he lost it to MJF. I'm sorry. No offense to anybody who likes Kenny Omega. I'm just like not a fan.
Fair enough. Dan's just saying maybe they'll give Sting a cinematic match. I think at this point, although they would be able to control the situation with a cinematic match, and what have you, I think it's probably best that Sting stays retired. I mean,
And honestly, cinematic matches has gotten way overplayed, especially when WWE decided to do it. I mean, I like the Boneyard match earlier this year, but it's like you do too much of it, people are gonna get tired of it. And funny that you mentioned cinematic, because like Sting wanted to do a cinematic match with Undertaker, but Vince said no. I thought my stream fucked up again. I was like, oh crap.
I think on that note, we'll probably call it a day there. It's like we said earlier, this is not like the usual type of offering that we give for the end of year panel, but you know, COVID has shaken things up a lot this year, and you know, in the world of entertainment and everything else in between. So, you know, we gave you the end of year panel, and I do find it a little bit ironic that apparently Sonic the Hedgehog was announced as the highest grossing superhero movie of the year. I'm like, in a weird way, I still classify him as a superhero character because of the fact of his natural given power of super speed. I mean, some go and say, no, you should just class him as a video game character because of where he came from. It's like, but he has super speed. So does the Flash. So are we not going to count the Flash as a superhero character? I mean, I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent, and it's something I really should learn to try and control, but, you know, one thing at a time. Thank you to everyone that has tuned in for this evening, despite our technical difficulties. We're going to look into different avenues to see to it that we don't have disruptions like this again, because it really can dampen the evening. And Sean Retro, we appreciate you so much for sticking around this evening, even with the technical difficulties we had. So, sir, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Until next time, for what will be episode 135 of Sunday Night Live, I have been the Knight, saying good night from the night.
Night, everybody.
See y'all later.
Take care, everybody.
And,
Remember to wear your mask.
And Merry Christmas.
Yay! Feliz Navidad.
Celebrate Kwanzaa too.
We're off the air.
That's